Seek the Lord is our sermon title for today. And here's what I want to start with. I want to start with a question. And I want to start with this question. How do you stay close to your best friends? What do you do to stay close to them? Do you text them, in person, hang out? What is it that you do? Shout it out to stay close to them. What do you do to stay close to your best friends, to have a good relationship with them? What do you do? You hang out. You play sports. Come on, Bryce. I expected that. Canes. You go and you share a meal with them. That's a good answer. There you go. What else do we do to spend time with your friends? You talk with them. I like it. How? Text, in person, email? I'm kidding. FaceTime, love it. That's good. Who here FaceTimes with their friends frequently? All right, FaceTimes with their friends, okay? How about who here just straight up boring old iMessage texts their friends frequently? Keep up with them. Hey, how's it going? Who here is a Discord only chatter? Yeah, that's Caleb, I figured. There you go, a couple people. Who here is DMs only kind of person? You just send reels and that's the way that you're friends with them? Cool, very cool, love it, that's great. Any way else that you keep up with, you're engaging with your friends, you're staying in contact with them that I have missed? Gaming. Oh, go to Driven. What do you know? Welcome to Driven Youth. That's awesome. I do think gaming definitely goes up there, does it not? If you're gaming with your friends, you're engaging in an activity with them, you know what I'm saying? You're doing something, team building, bonding, and all this stuff. That's good stuff. So, let me ask this question. Who here has a friend that they have only talked with online? You've never met him in person. I'm not saying yeah. So you have friends, you got people online you've never really talked to in person, but you keep up with them online. Okay, how about who here has interacted with people that is just online and you've never really talked to them in person? All right, love it, cool. So, a few people. Hey, here's where I'm getting at, all right? What would happen in your friendships if you stopped texting, stopped calling, stopped whatever? What would happen to those friendships? They would die, all right? Simply put, and there you go. Mallory takes the cake with that answer. Anyone else in any different way? What would happen? Would you still be friends with them? If you didn't text with them, talk with them every single day, but you kept up with them a little infrequently, what would happen to that relationship dynamic? As you talked, how about not if you stopped, but if you less frequent, all right? You weren't texting with them every day, but it switched to every 3 days, and maybe it's once a week, and maybe I'll keep up with you a little bit here and there. What would happen to those relationships? They become shallow. You don't know them as well? What's up? Yep, drift further apart. You might still be oh yeah, that's my pal, but you don't know what's going on in their life. You might do the old classic, hey, did you catch the latest blah, blah, blah? And you're just only highlights of whatever is popular. You're not really, there's no depth of a relationship, right? Yes, you know them, they might know you, but it's just not the same. I think you could say it would begin to fade, right? It might not happen just overnight at one time, but it would begin to slowly, there would be distance and you would do your own thing apart from them. They would do their own thing apart from you and there would be a distance, right? A gap. And that's normal if you were to stop talking to someone as frequent. I believe communication is the proof that there is a friendship, right? There is a desire for keeping up with one another. There would be a communication, right? There would be a continual flow of a back and a forth, right? Yes, that's how relationships work. You're talking and then they talk, and it's not just you talking, it's not just them talking, but there's a back and a forth. There's a back and a forth. You share, they share, you listen, they listen. It's called relationships, right? I do think it's very interesting though. There's a lot of people that we know. You might know of them online, all right? You might know, you can follow people on social medias all day long, and you can know everything about them. But just because you might know everything about whatever famous celebrities or athletes it might be, does that mean that they know you? No. You might know, because I'm a huge football guy. Tom Brady, love the guy, all right? Huge Tom Brady fan. Could tell you many facts about his life, his career, all this kind of stuff. Does that mean that Tom Brady knows me? Sadly, we will all say sadly, no, that does not mean that. I wish I had a relationship with Tom Brady, because that would be awesome. I'd say, hey pal, you wanna go throw the football? It'd be a great time. But just because I know a lot of things about him does not mean that I have a relationship with him, all right? So here's where we're getting. All those same truths apply to our relationship with God, right? I think a lot of people, you're around these environments that will tell you a lot about God, and you will get to know a lot about God, and that's great. It's a good thing to know about God, yes, but is it a better thing to actually know him and him know you? Can you imagine that? Where not only are you learning facts about God, but he is getting to know who you are. And y'all are beginning to grow a relationship together. That is not just like, oh, wow, that sounds like it could never happen. No, this is why God created us, to have relationships with him, right? That we would be connected, we would know him, he would know us. And this would happen in seeking the Lord, right? So in your mind right now, I want you to think on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being not close at all, 10 being, this is like my best friend. Where would you put your relationship with God? 1 being, he has no clue who I am. I don't really know who he is. 10 being, this is the guy I talk to about my life all the time, every day. In this room, there's a large variety of answers for that, right? Some of you may feel like, there's no way God even cares enough about me. I don't even know if I believe in him. So yeah, I'm like a 2, you know? I know about him. I've grown up in a family that's taught me about him, but I don't even know about him. And there may be some of you in here who are like, I know him, he knows me, but there just seems like there's more out there. You might put yourself on like a 7 out of 10 in knowing him. I hope that today I can show you how to grow closer to the Lord, because that is reality. It is reality for him to know the personal parts of you, and for you to share with him and him speak into your life, not just in a general, oh yeah, kind of a vague, God knows about the humans. No, he knows about you, your story, and who you are. And I think directly correlated to how close you feel to God is the question that I'm gonna ask, all right? And it would be this: how often do you actually pray? How often? How about that? How often does God speaking to us? You know what I'm saying? There you go, loving it. How often do you actually take time out of your day, out of your week to say, I'm going to pursue nothing else, but I'm going to open my heart to the Lord, and I'm going to wait and listen to what he says back into my life? I think as you're able to answer that question, you're gonna find that number from 1 to 10 is going to increase and increase and increase. Your closeness to God will go up as you begin to actually seek him. If you're saying, I'm far from God, or God is far from me, and then at the same time you're like, yeah, but I never pray, it's because he's far from me. I would say, I'm challenging you to change the perspective and say, I am going to pursue God. Because as we draw near to him, he will draw near to us. This is what we're talking about tonight. So Matthew 7:7 is our first verse we're gonna be in. If you have your phone, you can go there. I'm gonna encourage you, please highlight the verse. If you have your actual Bible, you can go there, underline it, whatever it may be. Also on your handout, you'll see this verse here. And it says this, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. This is talking about prayer with God. Ask, seek, knock. You've probably heard these words before in church, but what's fascinating is these words here in the original Greek, all right? It's used in the way that is in an active sense. This is a ongoing. This is not a one time, but this is a continual. It might as well say, keep on asking and it will be given to you. Keep on seeking and you will find. Keep on knocking and the door will be opened to you. The Lord rewards those who are persistent in their prayers. This is the quality of prayers that we are to have as believers. So verse 8 says this, for everyone who asks receives. Everyone. Don't write yourself out of the equation here. Everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks, the door will be opened. Again, this is not just a one-time, but a continual lifestyle of this. God rewards those who have faith and belief that he will answer them. And whenever I say faith, I mean believing even when it looks like he would not. Believing in spite of what you can see, what you can comprehend. I don't understand how or why God would answer this, but I'm gonna believe that he will. I'm gonna ask believing he will hear me. I'm going to seek believing he will be there. I'm gonna knock believing he is guiding me and he will open doors. So our point is this, ask, seek, knock. It is simple, all right? It boils down to a simple point. Yes, you could say it gets complex, but that's because it hits your life. And in those areas of your life, you say, God doesn't care anymore. In the areas of your life where you're saying, God, he's not near. I don't feel him. I don't know where he is. I would encourage you, ask, keep on asking. Seek, keep on seeking. Knock, keep on knocking, because this is what a relationship with God looks like, one that is continual. With your friends, you don't just say, hey, how's it going? And then just say, all right, see ya. I'm never talking to you again. Or you don't go up to him, hey pal, I'd like to be friends with you. And you say, okay, yeah, that's awesome. And you go, cool. Oftentimes, this is what happens in church in our day. You go to a church service, to a summer camp, shout out, and you say, God, I want to give my life to you. I want to surrender my life to you because you know he is good. I am not. He forgives. I need forgiveness. And you go to him and you accept the forgiveness, and then you turn and say, see ya. Thanks for having my back, pal. Thanks for being my friend. I'm out of here. And guess what? He doesn't all of a sudden say, you know what? Too bad. Don't ever come back. Don't ever talk to me about this again. No, he is a faithful friend. Even when we are faithless, he remains faithful. He is always going to be there. So we ask, seek, knock, knowing this is a relationship that me and the Lord have now. So on this topic of prayer, Jesus himself teaches us about how we are to pray in just the verse in the chapter before this. So Matthew chapter 6, verse 5, if you have your phone, please go there. Look at this verse. Jesus himself teaching us here is how to connect with God. Here is how to grow a relationship with him. It says this, and when you pray, you shall not be like the hypocrites. The hypocrites being the people who are all talk, no walk. The people who say, I'm close to God, but you can tell by their life, hey pal, you're not, all right? It says, don't be like them. It says this, for they love to pray. That's great, right? But what they love to do is they pray standing in the synagogues, the religious centers, and on the corners of the streets so that they may be seen by men. It says this is what their goal is in praying, that they would look all nice and spiritual and have a good reputation amongst the people, right? To where if you're saying, all right, I better look spiritual so God loves me. I better look like I'm doing the right thing to other people so that they might think I'm close to God. That's not what a relationship with God is. Verse 5, very fascinating. Jesus says this, assuredly I say to you, they have their reward, all right? Their reward, the hypocrites who are praying out in public, their reward is people look at them. Cool. You know what their reward is not? Answered prayers, connection with God, closeness with Him. But verse 6 says this, but you in your life, in your prayer life, in your connection with God, it says this, when you pray, go into your room, all right? Picture this actually happening. Go into your room, and when you have shut your door, pray to your Father who is in the secret place. Your Father is in the secret place. God is not found in all the flash and pizzazz. Hey, look, I'm gonna pray so other people think I'm cool. God wants someone whose faith is personal, even apart from everyone else. I say it often here. If you wanna know what your relationship with God is, it is best understood as when you are alone. When you are by yourself, in your room, whenever you're doing things where it's just you, you're away from the crowd, you're away from the people you're trying to please, it is just you. In that moment, those thoughts you have about God, that is what your faith is. Whenever you are in your room, that is your relationship with God. Not that it doesn't happen here, but you can put on fronts here all day long. You can make people think you are more spiritual than you are. And I'm afraid that happens too often. This needs to be a place where we come genuine, honest, walls down, confident in God's hand here, right? We are to pray to our Father who is in the secret place. Verse 6 continues and says this, and your Father, listen, who sees in secret will reward you openly. That is an incredible verse. Your Father who sees in secret. Please listen to this. It is not who sees all the good things in secret. This is everything in the secret. This, I'm afraid, the secret places in our life are where we like to hide from God. It's the areas we try to be tucked away from God. But He sees into those areas of life. And in those areas, when we, with faith, pray, cry out, seek, we ask, we knock, He rewards us openly to others. They will begin to see the blessings of God in your life. So our point is this: God sees the hidden things, the good and the bad. This is what our God does. If you want to find God, you must go to the secret place. You must go to Him in private. Go to Him personally. Yes, you might experience Him moving around others, and that's a great thing. We love those moments in church whenever God shows up to a people. But what I love as a pastor is when an individual says, God spoke to me. And those things often happen when you go to the secret place. So let's continue on. Verse 7 says this, and when you pray, do not use vain repetitions, or in other words, lots and lots of words that really say a lot of nothing. It says that's what the heathens do. It says, for they think that they will be heard for their many words. If you're saying, man, pray to God, that's how I'm supposed to have a relationship with him, I'm not a good prayer. This right here says, you don't have to be elaborate. You don't have to have all the perfect words. You don't have to say like a 4-hour-long prayer for God to turn his head to you. He's looking for someone who will just seek him, open up to him in the areas of your life that you have kept secret, in the areas apart from other people. Verse 8 says this, therefore do not be like them, for your Father knows the things you have need of before you ask of him. Crazy. He already knows what you need before you pray. And you say, well then why in the world should I pray? Because God wants to be connected with you. You can know what a friend needs. Think of this. You have friends in your life that you say, man, they need this word of encouragement. They need this help. They need this friend to step into their life. You might know that, but they don't. And in them speaking to you opens up a door where you can be that person to them. I believe that's very much how God works as well. He knows what we need, but he wants us to verbalize it, vocalize it, believe him to be that for us, and he will answer with those questions you have. So our last point is this: spend time with God. Spend personal time with God. What we're gonna do tonight, we're gonna take a little bit of time. We have some note cards, all right? Stick with me here in just a second. We're gonna have some note cards we're gonna pass out, and I want you to take actual personal time to seek the Lord like we're talking about here. And we're called to do this continually. I want this to be an example of what this looks like, but this is to be something that sparks a continual thing in your life, all right? This is what this can look like. These prayers where you're saying, God, here is the sin I keep going back to. I need your help. If you never take time to personally say those things to God, how can you expect them to change? It is important for us to take time out of our life, dedicate it with God. Not in distractions, not in doing, not in being busy, but in saying, God, here is my life. You say, God, here's where I feel completely insecure. I don't feel good enough, accepted, or seen. And you lay that at his feet. You surrender it to him. And like a friend, you ask and you listen. You talk and you listen. And this is to be something we grow in doing, right? God, I feel distant from you. I don't know why. Help me to be close to you. Write those things down on this card here tonight. Begin this process of things, right? Help me be honest about what has caused me to be distracted. God, I'm holding on to control in this area of my life. God, I'm scared about my future. God, I'm tired of pretending to be someone I'm not. God, I want to know you, but I don't know where to go. God, I'm dealing with anxiety and depression. Lord, help me to have peace and joy. That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pray. We have some prompts we're gonna put up on the screen. Just briefly, these words, I want you to find a spot in the room, write it down. We'll give like 5 minutes for this, all right? So leaders, if we can hand those out, and then I'm gonna pray, and then we are gonna get going with the rest of our evening, all right? I want this to be a time you are spending intentional time with God, spending it with the Lord, all right? So I want you, after you get that piece of paper, I'm gonna pray, and then find a spot in the room, or you can stay there at your chair. And Nate, if we can get some like the chill worship music in the back, that'd be great, all right? So y'all join me in praying. Father, I do thank you so much for tonight. Lord, I pray that tonight you would give us discernment into areas you're wanting to speak into. Lord, I pray that you would put areas that you want to work in our lives, Lord, and I pray that you would begin this process and we would see fruit from this time here tonight spent with you. Lord, I pray these things in your name. Amen.